as a lot of people in the film community want to put it, the movie that hopefully will break the chain of terrible video game movies. Does this movie break the chain? Almost. Almost. Okay, let me explain. The movie is about orcs and humans. It follows the first Warcraft game. So you have the orcs who are in their homeland. It's completely desolate, but then they have to move on to Azeroth, where the dwarves, humans, and elves are living peacefully. They're coexisting. And now the orcs, led by their terrible leader, what's his name? Gul'dan, I think is his name. And he's basically using this magic called the Fel that like sucks out all the life. And they have an orc, Duratan, played by Toby Kebbell, who realizes that their leader is doing these terrible things and wants to ally with the humans. And the humans are a little suspicious of them, but they know that this might be their only hope of stopping the entire horde from going through the portal, and war ensues, as the title suggests. What I love about this movie is the visuals. The CGI in this movie is the second best CGI we've seen since The Jungle Book, in my opinion. Like, you look at the orcs, and even though you know in your heart of hearts that the orcs are fake, it's so uncanny, it's so well done that you just can't help but buy it. Again, the motion capture performances are done really well in this movie, especially Toby Kebbell, who plays Duratan, the main orc. Toby Kebbell is definitely no stranger to motion capture since he did it in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And the other performances are relatively well, except for the young mage, who is not that good. He's completely miscast, and the way he reacts to certain things, it's like, oh, you're just reacting to green screen stuff, and you have no idea how to express genuine fear or emotion or stuff. He's not terrible, but you definitely can see that in certain areas he could have done better. No, and the story is really, really basic, and also really cliche at certain times, but by the end of the movie, you cannot accuse this movie of being cliche, because it does a lot of things that go against this general formula. Here's what I'll give props to this movie. I was definitely not lost when I was watching this movie. It was very easy to follow the story and follow the characters. If you're a Warcraft fan, you'll definitely find the little tidbits here and there that are from the video games, from Warcraft, from World of Warcraft. But for the common moviegoer, I can guarantee you will not be totally lost. That being said, there are certain elements that will only enhance the movie if you're a Warcraft fan, and then there are elements that if you're not a Warcraft fan, it might derail the movie for you. Because this movie wants you to set up characters that you want to care about, you're supposed to feel bad for them when certain things happen. Problem is, they don't set it up well, so that when it happens, you don't feel the gut punch and the emotion. What's really bad is the reveal of the villain, because you don't know who the real villain is. You do know the orc main bad guy, but there's a bigger villain. And then when you realize who the villain is, you just go, well, that came out of nowhere. And my friend who watched with me, who is a Warcraft fan, he knows the storyline behind it. So he was able to fill in the gaps. So again, if you're a WoW fan or a Warcraft fan, this will be easier for you to fill in the blanks, and it will increase your enjoyment. But for a common moviegoer, when it comes to these certain moments, it really doesn't help the movie. And here's the other thing. This movie also has just basic problems. It's really choppy. Like, it goes from scene to scene to scene to scene to scene, which is fine. But sometimes certain scenes, they need to expand more on it. And in some scenes, you know that they cut some things out, so it really looks like they just jumped into a middle of a scene where the setup for it was cut out. Even though I like the ending, there are certain elements of the ending that just come nowhere. They just like throw this set piece or this fight, and it's just like, wait, where did that come from? That came out of nowhere. This movie has the potential to be good if they had the 3-hour cut then this movie easily might be a 7.5 or an 8. But because of not only the cuts, but also because of some of the setups that didn't work out, the revealing of the villain, I cannot give this a 7 out of 10. It is close, but again, because of all the flaws of this movie, it's like a converging asymptote to the 7 mark, but it never reaches that point. It will never reach that point. So, in its current state, I will give this movie a 6.8 out of 10. I saw it in IMAX 3D. It is visually gorgeous, so if you're going to watch this movie, definitely watch it in IMAX 3D. I also recommend that you go on and watch it regardless. This movie is entertaining at the end of the day. And if you're looking for that, you're a fantasy fan, there are things to be enjoyed. So, Warcraft, have you seen it? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next review.